Any of the parties identified?
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Valerie Sledge.
Taryn Minter, present for Alexa Olivares.
Alicia Walker, present for the child.
Okay. Tell me about Josiah. Is Josiah still with the uncle in Hereford?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry. Yes, ma'am. He's in Harper, doing well. No concerns or issues. He's thriving. His 3-day well check was great. Hearing great. Vision great. Very healthy. He loves Paw Patrol. He loves watching movies, eating crackers, chips, not picky on any food, Uncle said so far. He's able to be with his little cousin who is a year older than him. He's doing well at the babysitters with his cousin. So there's no concerns at all in that placement, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Do we have that home study back on the family?
Not yet, Your Honor. I haven't got it back.
All right, Ms. Panger, what is the status of service on Mr. Morisco?
We do not have a return yet showing that he's been personally served, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Walker, any concerns regarding Josiah in the home?
Not right now, Your Honor.
CASA, do we have our CASA representative present? Okay, Ms. Minter, any concerns on behalf of Ms. Olivares? Or Ms. Olivares, you can unmute yourself.
No, ma'am, I don't. I know he's doing great at my brother's. I saw him yesterday. No, on Wednesday at 3, and he's doing amazing there. He's playing great with his cousin, with my brother. I know he's going with my niece's babysitter. And he enjoys it.
Okay, very good. Mr. Shaw, do you have any concerns on behalf of Mr. Morisco?
No, Your Honor. He's recently moved back to Dimmitt, and I believe he's on the Zoom. I think that's him.
Okay, do I have Mr. Morisco present?
Yep, maybe not.
Judge, Jim, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think he's under Jesus Becerra.
Okay. I talked to him yesterday. He said he was going to be on.
Okay, I see you now. Mr. Morisco, do you have any concerns regarding Josiah?
No, I do not. I know he's doing good. So there's really no concern on my part.
Okay. All right, very good. Tell me about the plan of service for these parents. Let's start with Ms. Olivares. What are we asking Ms. Olivares to do in this case in order to get Josiah back?
She just has to complete a psychosocial and she has to do parenting and counseling. All those referrals have been sent in and she has, from when me and her met was last week. She was actually going to get on the ball and call and set up all the services that she needed. She is very approachable, was willing to work all services to get Josiah back.
Judge, may I ask a question, please, of my worker? Valerie, are we also asking that she maintain the income to be able to support herself and her child and housing that's appropriate?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. She does have appropriate housing for Josiah. She also has a job that she's been at for a while as well. She also has her own transportation, and she's willing to maintain all three of those on top of doing her services to get Josiah back. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Minter, any issues with the plan of service?
No issues that I'm aware of with the plan of service. She's gonna get on top of things and do what she's got to do.
All right, very good. I will approve the plan of service for Ms. Olivares, and tell me about Mr. Marisco's plan of service.
So for Mr. Jesus, he has parenting, and he has individual therapy. He also has stable housing that he actually got an apartment on the 5th. He also has a job that he got, I think, on the 1st as well. He has his own vehicle. He's willing to maintain all those on top of doing services to have Josiah also return home as well.
Okay, from my mind, the affidavit, I think, of removal pertained more to the mom. So tell me the issues with Mr. Marisco or Becerra, I'm not sure which he goes by, but what are we concerned about with the father that we need to address in this case? What are the issues?
So with Dad, he has a pending criminal sex abuse charge that he's basically awaiting. He's waiting for that. He stated that, you know, he didn't have, he had contact with Josiah, but not as much. He did not know the reasons of why Josiah came into care, because at the time him and Alexa was not, they were talking but not talking, I guess, to that extent. And so the concern for him was more of just the pending charges that he had stated that he had, and the reason why him and Alexa was not together. So yes, ma'am, that's it.
Mr. Shaw?
Judge, I've informed my client that he needs to talk to his criminal attorney about individual counseling and the psychological evaluation as to how they want to proceed. But as far as the services that have been proposed, without that condition, I don't have any concerns.
Okay, I will approve the plan of service for Mr. Olivares as well. Okay, let's make sure that we maintain the current placement pending that home study, and if there's a problem, let's give all the parties 10 days notice and please remove the child.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to set this for an initial permanency hearing March the 22nd at 1:15.
Julie Panger with the department. Also present is FBSS worker Marilyn Blockins.
Lindsay Murray on behalf of the mother, present and ready.
Mr. Shaw is present.
Linda Eveling for the children, present and ready.
Okay, tell me how the Harpers are doing in services this month.
They are doing really well. They have completed up to today 5 sessions of couples counseling. They are seeing their St. Francis worker weekly as they're supposed to, and they are now transitioning into phase 3 with St. Francis. That they're going to start working on them kind of handling their own sessions with them and the little things that they've worked on and how they're utilizing that day to day. Richard Gallen has nothing but positive to say for the couple, that they've made plans, that they've worked on strategies. If, you know, anger does arise, what are they going to do? How are they going to handle tough conversations? And Judge, I've also seen progress in them this month more than the previous months as well. Just getting to also see Amber and Sage together, it's been very positive with what they're saying, and it's kind of surprising compared to where we've been throughout this case, but they've done very well. Richard Gatlin did recommend yesterday after their session that we go ahead and move forward with Amber coming home. And we just asked that we put a safety plan in place, that they have paternal grandmother, Sage's mom, come in and check on them throughout the week.
Okay. That all sounds very good. Ms. Harper, would you agree with all that?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me what you're learning in the services and with Mr. Gatlin.
We have learned lots of breathing techniques on how to calm down when we're getting angry. We've learned, I have a list. I presented a whole list to Marilyn. In my wave class, I learned about angry journaling. I call it angry journaling, but just journaling my feelings. And instead of saying those words out loud, writing them down and better processing them in that way. Going to the other room and taking a break, coming back to the conversation later, thinking about rewording the conversation, thinking about if this is actually worth arguing about, what the real root of the issue is, being able to communicate on a compromise, repeating back what the other one said to each other. So communicating mental and physical percentages. So, like mental health and where your body's at physically, and addressing the feelings before they become anger.
Okay. And are you using those techniques?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And is all that working well?
Yes, ma'am. We have already put a lot of those things into place. Even just communicating over the phone. We've been able to stop and take a break from the conversation and come back to the conversation later, or think about what we're actually talking about and what the root of the issue is. Yes, ma'am. We have been able to really think about what our conversation is about and really get to the root of the issue.
Okay. All that sounds very good. Is Mr. Harper present?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Okay. Tell me your own words. What do you think you are learning and what's helping you in this?
Well, as of what Amber said, that we're working on stepping back and stepping back from the conversation and realizing that we love each other, and coming back to that and saying, hey, this isn't what, and also if it needs to be way today to way today, we kind of have our agreement that if Amber doesn't understand what I'm saying, and she has expectations on the day on what's going on and what's for instance, that the incident, she had expectations of me that day, to communicate the expectations before that day comes along. That way we're able to communicate that. And so I know what to do to help her out through the day. And we've learned to communicate that with each other. And we've been working on giving our percentages of our mental state and our physical state. We give percentage on both every day. Kind of just at the end of the day, during the day, we kind of do that over the phone, even though she's not here, just to practice, just communicate with each other on that. We sat down and wrote a budget, money budget to help Amber see the finances and everything, and help me explain that to her and what's going on, so we can be a team. I'm not having to be the bad guy and say we can't do something, that we were a team on this.
All that sounds very good. Okay, it sounds like the services are helping. Ms. Murray, anything to add on behalf of your client? I think I'm losing Ms. Murray. Mr. Shaw, anything to add on behalf of your client?
Well, Judge, they have been working with Mr. Gatlin. I did not hear the caseworkers part of the case, but I think that Mr. Gatlin's pretty close to making a recommendation, or if not, have already made a recommendation that the couple can be back together. And that's what we're shooting for.
I think that's what she said. And Ms. Bracken's indicated that Mr. Gatlin is fine with the mother being back in the home as long as we have a grandmother checking on the family throughout the week. So that's great. Okay, Miss Eveline, any concerns with the kiddos?
No, Your Honor. I think this is the most encouraging I've heard both parents be. I know the dynamic will change a little bit when they're both in the home with the children, and I'm sure they're talking about that already, and that some of those conversations may have to be a little bit different just because children will be around both of them. But this is by far the best I have heard from both parents, and I would say especially with Mr. Harper, it just sounds like they're both really focusing on what they need to be a successful family again. So I'm hoping for good things. And I see Miss Murray's back on.
Okay. Miss
Yes,
Murray,
Judge, I'm excited for my client. I think they've worked hard. I think her and her husband are trying to work.
I would agree. Nothing but positive news in this hearing, and all of that's very good. Maybe we can shoot for a dismissal either next month or maybe in January. Sounds good to me. Okay, I will set it for another review hearing December the 8th at 9 a.m. All right, good job to the Harper family. Parties on the go.
Thank you.
Julie Panger with the department, also present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Isabel Chacon.
Sarah Hudman, attorney and guardian ad litem for the babies.
Might have lost Jim Shaw. All right, Ms. Panger, what is the status of service on Mr. Garcia?
Judge, I believe this week we got, or last week maybe, we got DNA testing that ruled him out as the father. So we have dismissed him as a party and added in replet an unknown father, and are waiting on service by publication on the unknown father.
Okay, Mr. Shaw, I'm going to appoint you to the unknown father to be served by publication. Okay, tell me about the children. Are they still with their grandmother?
Yes, ma'am. They're currently placed with Melissa and Jose Martinez.
Okay, how are they doing there?
They're doing really good. Royalty, she loves Cocomelon, Baby Finn. She's on track, or she's up to date with all her medical and dental. Isaiah is a 5-month-old baby. He's on track for his age as well. He's chunky, cute baby boy. He has a full head of black hair. Isaiah continues to grow, a healthy baby boy, and he's up to date on all his medical and dental.
Okay, are these children healthy? Any sort of medical concerns at all?
No, ma'am. Melissa did mention that Royalty will be starting ECI services.
Okay, what is she needing UCI for?
For speech.
Okay, very good. Is this the family? A little boy with a head of black hair, and they're smiling at me, so I'm guessing that's the family that we're talking about in this case. Okay. All right, very good. Do we have an approved home study on the grandparents?
Yes.
Do we have an approved home study on the grandparents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Very good. Ms. Hudman, any concerns with the children or the placement?
No concerns at all with the placement, Judge. I wanted to add, and I apologize if y'all can hear that. My dog's upset. On the medical issues, Royalty may also need braces on her leg. She's got some, and so ECI is also supposed to do an assessment on that. And I believe Wick is the one that talked about this. So I just wanted to make sure that, because I don't really know how all of that works with getting ECI set up. And so I was hoping that St. Francis will make those referrals if those referrals need to be made to move things along. But yeah, babies are doing great, and placement is great. Also, they live in Lockney, and daycare is an issue. The availability of daycare is an issue. And so, and I believe that Melissa has spoken with Isabel about this, but we do need to see about some daycare options so that so that the kids can get out and be socialized more, and so that Melissa can also get back to work, which she's put on hold to care for these babies.
Ms. Chacon, I'm sure there's daycare availability maybe in Plainview, and we can get some transportation help for this family to get that done.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Great. And as far as the medical issues, certainly if we have any extended period of time where that's not being addressed, let's get with Sasha Smith with Superior Health and see if she can help get everything set up as far as those medical appointments.
Judge. Okay. Sorry, Judge. Lucido mom is actually on, and she's texting me, and she said she accidentally went to the breakout room.
We haven't heard from her for a bit.
So this is one issue with Zoom that I wish we could resolve, is the breakout room issue when people get lost in Never Never Land. Ms. Escalona, do you have any concerns regarding the children? Okay, I can't hear you, ma'am. I can't hear I can't hear her. Her audio's not working. Mr. Shaw, any concerns on behalf of your client regarding the children?
I have not had contact with her recently. The number that I have is no longer good, so I would need to talk to her.
Okay, Ms. Escalona, try again. Yeah, I still can't hear what you're saying. Ms. Escalona, if you could, or Ms. Chacon, you have a good number for Ms. Escalona?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please get that number to Mr. Shaw.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me how Ms. Escalona is doing in services.
Well, Miss Escalona has not done any of her services. She has not done any of her visits, but she just recently reached out yesterday afternoon to start her services and start her visits again.
Okay, and do we have any sort of idea as far as the identity of a father?
Yes, ma'am. She told me yesterday who Isaiah's father is. He's in Clovis, New Mexico. She actually called him while we were on the phone, and she's going to give me his address, and I should see him November 23rd. And then Royalty's dad, she did mention she knows who he is, but that he doesn't want anything to do with Royalty, and that he threatens her that he's going to take away Royalty and get all rights of her.
What are the names of these people?
She did not give me them.
All right, Ms. Pinger, if we need to set this for a hearing in person where I can hear Ms. Escalona and put her on the stand and give us these two dads' names, let me know.
Yes, ma'am, Judge. We will try and get that figured out today and see what we can get established. Yep. And I'll ask for a hearing as quickly as possible.
Okay. I'm going to set this for another permanency hearing and a final hearing. Okay. March 8 is the 9. Adversary hearing out of Lamb County contested.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Are we ready?
Maybe just a little, Your Honor. Maybe just a little.
Ms. Ricker, who do you represent?
I have intervened on behalf of the grandmother, Hope Alvarez. She had care, custody, and control of Genesis. prior to removal.
Is this a paternal grandmother or maternal?
Maternal, Michaela's mom.
Okay, we'll take that one up in just a bit.
I have a new lawyer in my office too. At some point, I want you to meet.
Let me have the parties
Awesome.
identified.
Julie Panger with the department, also present as St. Francis Permanency Specialist, Abigail Lawrence.
Taryn Minter present for the mother, Alize Vecchio.
Jim Shaw representing the fathers.
Miss
John
Panger,
Arroyo. Sorry.
Sorry.
John Arroyo with CASA.
Okay, Ms. Panger, what is the status of service on the two fathers?
Mr. Palomino was personally served October 16th, and we do not have a return showing service yet on the other father.
Okay, tell me about the children. Where are the children currently placed?
Lexi is placed in Lubbock, in a foster home, and Ayana is in Edgewood, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, in a foster home as well.
Okay, how are the children doing?
Starting with Lexi, she's doing really good. She's thrived off of the individualized attention she's getting. She's in a single home foster, with just a foster mom. So she does really well there. She's in daycare 5 days a week. So the socialization has been super beneficial. She can say some words. She's not on target for a 2-year-old. So she has an ECI appointment in December, for speech. She's up to date on all her medicals. She has a dentist appointment today. So she's overall doing really well. She still struggles with a fear of men. She's just super wary whenever any man is around. And Ayana, she's also doing really well in placement. They're super good with her. She turned 1 on the 31st. She's a very smiley, happy baby. Placement stated, they would describe her as content. She rarely cries. She babbles. She developmentally, she's 6 months due to the low muscle tone that she has, so she's not able to pull herself up. She's also going to be referred for ACI. I don't have a date for that. And in regards to her medical needs, placement has stayed really on top of all of that. With her primary care physician, she's going to be seeing a GI doctor the 21st of December. She has an ENT specialist appointment that will go over the surgeries that she has had, because she's not able to swallow, and they'll plan for any other further surgeries if needed. And that's also who would refer her to a speech therapist for swallow tests. I talked to placement and they said that it was stated that Ayana has a history of sleep apnea, and that's no longer the case. So she's doing really well there. So overall, the kids are good.
Okay, and this is why the kids are separated, because we have Ayana in a medical needs foster home. She came into care with a G tube and might need surgery for her GI issues and swallowing and all of that. Okay. Any new medical issues that she has developed or new diagnoses that we know about since she came into care?
No, honestly, the opposite. Since she's came into care, she's gained some significant weight. So they're looking at taking her off the 24-hour feeds, switching it to 20 hours at a time for now. And if the progression keeps happening, she'll be able, their end goal was feeds for 4 times a day over an hour at a time. So she's done really good.
Okay. Ms. Walker? CASA, concerns with the children?
As Ms. Lawrence reported, they're both doing great in their current placement. I have no concerns, only just to get them an ECI because, like she said, Lexi is not saying as many words as she should say, and Ayana is weak. So just continue current placement. I mean, they are doing good in their current placement. I have no concerns.
Okay. Do we have Ms. Vecchio present?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Vecchio, do you have any concerns regarding the children that we haven't talked about?
No, ma'am. I know that they're doing great and they're happy where they are, and I am working on my services to get them home together.
Okay, very good. Mr. Rodella, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any concerns regarding Lexi?
No, I heard, they've been calling me and telling me that she's been doing great and just trying to see what I could do to get her to stay here with me.
Okay, Mr. Palomino present?
Your Honor, Alicia Walker present for the children.
Ms. Walker, any concerns regarding the children?
At this time, I mean, I think I'm sure y'all have already addressed this while I was in a breakout room. Some of the concerns that I saw popping up are going to be addressed by ECI. I do believe that both kids have referrals going for that. So subject to the kids getting involved with that, no concerns at this time.
Okay, very good. Mr. Palomino, any additional concerns regarding Ayana?
No, ma'am. She's been doing pretty well. About to go visit her in Dallas about a week or two ago. Gained a lot of weight. Other than that, she's been crawling around. She's been babbling a lot more. She's been teething a lot, but overall, she's been doing pretty good. Just trying to see further on where she can be back here due to the allegations.
Okay, let's talk about that. We're also set for a placement hearing today. Are we still needing, Ms. Panger, tell me what we know about the placement hearing and the home studies and all of that.
Yes, ma'am, Judge. The two home studies that the placements followed through with just came back yesterday. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jenna Simpson is the supervisor. I believe those have been approved. She sent those for redaction to be sent out, and they didn't get sent out. One of the potential placements, and I believe that was the sister of Mr. Palomino, chose not to be a potential placement. The other two, they were able to complete those home studies and they've been approved. And that is, I believe, on the brother of Mr. Rodella, and then a grandmother, I think, for a maternal grandmother. We will send those have been, the redaction has been requested for e-filing for everyone to get those. We will send those out as soon as possible. But no one yet has been able to review that to see. And so I don't know kind of what the status is. That happened late yesterday afternoon, Judge.
Okay, an approved home study on Brian Rodella with respect to the child Lexi, and then an approved home study on a grandmother for Ayana.
I believe that's the relationship with them. Correct me, Jenna, if I'm wrong. And I think that both of those placements are willing to take both children.
Yes, both of them are willing to. Abby had spoke to Brian and Art, who had asked that if they were chosen as placement, that Lexi come first and get her kind of settled a little bit before bringing Ayana. And I think that that's a great idea, because Ayana has got that ear, nose, and throat specialist appointment on November 30th. And so I would here in the Amarillo area, and I believe, Judge Darnell, in the Lubbock area as well, finding a Medicaid provider for an ear, nose, and throat specialist is nearly impossible, if not totally impossible. So as far as the other home study that was done, I also passed it as well. They had some things that they were going to have to get for the kids. But we sent that for redaction yesterday, about 3:00, I think. And our office is closed today. And so that's probably the reason that I was not able to get it back, to get it filed.
Okay, it sounds like we may need some more time for that placement hearing. Do we need to reset the placement hearing?
That would be helpful, I think, from our end to make sure everyone sees what that is, to see if there's a way that we can work anything out. I don't have any opposition to that being set quickly, since they're both back, just that no one has had a chance yet to review those, and there may be some discussions that can be had to get that worked out.
Ms. Minter, would your client be agreeable to resetting the placement hearing in this matter?
I haven't had an opportunity to ask her. I believe so, because I would also like to be able to look at those first before we go forward with any hearing.
Mr. Shaw?
Well, yes, Your Honor. I need to look at the home studies.
Ms. Walker?
Agreement to reset, but I would like a quick reset. Anytime we can get in with family fast, that's always the goal.
Okay, CASA.
Yes, CASA would be in agreement to removing the hearing, but sooner, like Ms. Walker said.
Okay.
Judge Darnell, I did want to make it known that once it is, we decide on a placement for the girls, they did say for Ayana that it would be kind of a week and a half, 2-week turnaround, because she has to be medically transported. So she would be there in it would be by ambulance.
Okay, I'm going to reset the placement hearing to December the 22nd, the Swisher County docket, December 22nd. And certainly if the parties can talk, come to some sort of an agreement on placement, no need to wait until the 22nd to change the placement.
Yes, ma'am.
This setting is only in the event that we are not agreeing.
Yes,
So
ma'am. I'll visit with everyone.
December 22nd at 9 a.m.
Excuse me, Judge, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm not, it's fun for Ayana and Lexi. I'm not the great grandmother. I'm the aunt. I don't know where they got great grandmother. I was one of the home studies, but I'm the aunt. I'm Alizé's aunt. I don't know how they got great grandmother or grandmother.
That's my mistake. I apologize, Judge.
Okay, you are Lucy Aguilar?
Yes, ma'am. I'm the aunt.
Okay, you are the mother's sister?
No, I am Alizé's aunt. So I'm there. I would be Lexi and Ayana's great aunt.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's talk about plans of service. What are we asking Miss Vecchio to do in this case in order to get her children returned to her care?
We are going to ask her, to show proof of housing and employment, parenting classes, drug screens, a psychological evaluation, individual counseling, a psychosocial evaluation, and then, we just ask that she get a good support system to rally behind her and the kiddos, because it takes a village. So those are the services we're going to be asking of her.
Ms. Minter, any issues with that plan of service?
No, Judge, none that I know of.
Okay, Ms. Lawrence, tell me about Mom's progress so far. What all has she started?
Mom's very motivated. She's made appointments for everything other than the psychological, and we'll get those kinks fixed today. But she has really been adamant to get everything started and make the necessary changes. So she's doing really well.
Okay, I will approve Ms. Vecchio's plan of service. And what about Mr. Palomino?
For Preston, we're gonna ask for housing and employment as well. Stay in contact with me. Some parenting classes for him. an OSAR evaluation, drug screenings, the psychosocial and individual counseling, as well as, again, a support system for his kids.
Mr. Shaw?
Judge, that sounds fine, except when I think I was looking at the family service plan, it had psychosocial and psychological, and I didn't know why we would have both of those.
Is there a need for both, Ms. Lawrence?
Not for Preston. I don't know if maybe I had made a mistake. I had put both down for Mr. Rodella.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. So let's just do a psychological for Mr. Palomino.
Yeah, that's correct. It's on the other father.
Okay, I will approve that plan, and tell me what Mr. Palomino is working on so far.
Well, he has signed his family plan and referrals have been sent. He hasn't given me an update just yet on any dates that he has scheduled for those. But when I had, met with him, he was going back to work the next day. So I have no doubt that he'll get it started. And he was also, very motivated and in agreement with the plan when I met with him. So.
Okay, and what is on Mr. Rodella's plan?
For Mr. Rodella, we'll ask that he stay in contact and comply, housing and employment, some parenting classes, drug screens, an OSAR, psychosocial, individual counseling, and the psychological as well. He has not signed his family plan. I wasn't able to meet with him due to illness this week, so I'm going to try next week and see him and discuss it.
Okay, why are the two psychosocial and psychological?
I felt that the psychological would be beneficial because I was made aware that he may have some kind of learning disability, and I just felt like getting an answer might help me gauge in interacting services in general.
All right, Mr. Shaw?
Oh, Judge, I would ask that we do one, and then if that doesn't answer the question, then we could do the other one, whichever they want to do first.
I'm fine with that. Let's pick one of those, and if we need another one, let me know at the next hearing, and we'll talk about it. Okay, I will approve the plan of service for Mr. Rodella with that change, and tell me about his progress so far.
Again, I haven't been able to meet with him, so I have no progress to report at this time.
All right, Mr. Rodella, can you tell me what you are working on so far in your services?
So far I've been barely had got my job this Monday starting, and I've just been running around and trying to get my job and trying to do everything I can.
Where are you working?
At Affiliated.
Okay, very good.
And I had a question, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
For my payment plan, I wanted to see how much I would be paying, because I get paid every 2 weeks.
Payment plan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, they had called me or something about this court saying I had to do a payment plan.
I don't think it's not this court. I didn't order any child or medical support for any parents.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Might be a different case, different
okay.
court.
Oh, already.
Okay. That tells me, Ms. Pinger, that we might have an AG case going on somewhere else. Let's check on that and see if we need to consolidate or do something on it.
I will check on that. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to set a placement hearing December 22nd at 9 and an initial permanency hearing March the 22nd at 9.
Yes, ma'am. I had a question.
Yes, sir.
So the allegations that are on me right now are from Alize. They have brought up to the other CPS, Miss Elaine. Alize did admit texting me and told Miss Elaine that the allegations were false. So I'm trying to see, like, because that's the only thing really holding me back from getting Ayana at this point, the allegation. And I mean, she having the messages that she had said that was false because someone had told her to say that.
Okay, I would encourage you to visit with Mr. Shaw about all of that. We have a placement hearing coming up next month, December 22nd.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
if that is true, I'm sure Mr. Shaw will argue at that placement hearing that maybe we should be looking at placing back with the father.
Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you.
In question, ma'am.
Okay, you guys need to talk to Mr. Shaw. He is your attorney in this case.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Next hearing will be December 22nd at 9 a.m. I certainly think that it would be important to learn all we can about Ayana's medical needs and that sort of thing, and present a good plan to the court for thinking about placing back with Dad. St. Francis needs to help with that. So if that's going to be a reasonable possibility in a month, let's see what we can do to help. Help either or both dads with that possibility. I have no idea. So if it's on the table, then let's make sure everybody knows and be ready for it December 22nd.
All right.
Judge, I have a question.
Okay. Yes.
So when they told me that my daughter Lexi was afraid of men, the only person I left her with was with Preston when I was going with Ayana in the hospital.
Alize, this isn't, she's not taking evidence right now. If you want to give me a call later and tell me what's going on.
Yes, ma'am, I sure will.
Okay.
Okay. It sounds like we may be getting into some of the facts of this case on December the 22nd and see where we are as far as placement, either with a relative or with the mom or the dads. I don't know, but we're just here for a status hearing. We're just talking about plans of service today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll see everybody back on this case December 22nd. Out on that more. Let me have the parties identify.
Yes, ma'am. I think that's correct. And Julie Panger for the department. Also present is St. Francis Permanency Specialist Lisa Hooper.
Alicia Walker present for Mother Erica Moore, and she is present via telephone in this meeting.
Jim Shaw representing the father.
Karen Minter, attorney ad litem.
Donna Rolla with CASA. And we have Ashley Bacchus. She is placement for the 3 younger children. She's here also.
Okay, very good. Ms. Panger, what is the status of service on Mr. Moore and Mr. Angui?
Mr. Moore was personally served October 6th of 2023, and we do not have a return yet showing any service yet on Mr. Angui.
Okay, and the 3 younger children are placed with Ms. Bacchus?
Yes. Well, it's the Amarillo, the shelter, emergency shelter in Amarillo. She's the case manager.
Oh, got it. Okay, Ms. Bacchus, can you unmute yourself for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how the 3 younger children are doing.
Okay. They are doing well in placement. They are at the emergency shelter. They are doing well in school overall. They're bonding with their teachers and getting fairly good grades. The teachers have been able to see some significant gaps in their education that they are working with them on, specifically reading and mathematics. We're not having any major behavior issues with jealousy or journey, Auric journey at school. Dang, we have been having some issues with him at school with behavior, but they're working with him on that and trying to build relationships. At the shelter, we are seeing all 3 are pretty argumentative and you know, they're great kids, great personalities, but they do struggle with authority and following directions. And when they don't get their way, they have fits. And Dang has run away from the shelter. Thankfully, not very far. He stays on campus, but we've had some issues there with him.
Okay, what are we doing to address some of the defiance and the anger and?
We are trying to bond with him more. Of course, we try to deal with his behavior right when it's happening. We have some staff on campus that have been able to bond with him better, and we kind of have them on the spot and talk to him. And we are using some discipline in terms of early bedtime and loss of privileges. But it has been a struggle.
All right. Is there therapy available at your facility?
Yes, all three children are seeing Deborah Smith. She is a licensed professional therapist, and she comes twice a month on Tuesdays to visit with the kids individually.
We know what kind of therapy she provides?
It's individual therapy. I'm not quite sure of the name per se of it.
Health-wise, how are the children doing? Any sort of medical concerns?
They're all doing well. Dang is going to have a tooth extracted on the 21st. Just a tooth that has a cavity that just has gotten worse and worse, and so they're going to pull that. But besides that, he's doing well. Journey has had some issues with a past injury on her foot, and she saw a specialist about that, and we've been given some cream to help with that, and they're just monitoring that, but it's not severe. And then Jealousy had issues with her back, having back pain, and so she's receiving physical therapy for that.
Okay. Do these kids get any sort of contact with Aiden?
They do. They get to have virtual visits with Aiden twice a week.
Good. Okay. Tell me about your facility in terms of what fun things are there to do for kids. What do these kids like to do, and what do we have available for them?
Yes, we have a really nice playground, outdoor playground, and the kids like to go there and play outside. They do really well being outside. We have basketball hoops right in front of the shelter. We have a playground also right at the shelter, but then we have a big one on our campus, High Plains Children's Home. We also have a basketball gym, and the kids like to be there. It's an indoor basketball gym. There's games in the shelter. They got to go trick-or-treating for Halloween that just passed. They went to a trunk or treat at their school. They get to go skating. There's a lot of different things that they get to do. They also attend church weekly. So there's a lot of socialization that they get and fun activities.
Okay, all of that sounds very good. Ms. Minter, concerns with the younger three?
No concerns to add to what Ms. Bacchus has already described.
Ms. Moore, can you tell me if you have any concerns regarding your younger three children?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to be able to communicate with them. I just want to be able to talk to them, write them. From here at the prison, the mail system is like 3 months behind because of illegal drugs coming in the mail. They've started having to have a third party do, like, checking everything. And so it would take 3 months through the mail for me to get their letters. But if I can do it through my lawyer, since it's legal, it can come directly to the facility. then it would work out better so that we could communicate weekly. I could send them letters weekly. I think that maybe the reason Dang is acting out is because of the situation, you know. I think that it's hard on all of them. I was not expecting to come back here. This was a mistake that happened with the legal system. I was erroneously released and I was unaware that this was going to happen. On this charge, I filed a writ of habeas corpus. So I think it was just a shock to them. And also, Dang when I had CPS involved before, he was staying with LMA and Rena Faye. CPS had placed them there. They were being abused there. And Dang didn't have to do his homework. He is severely behind on his reading and math. In Happy School, they have all of his records from his previous that he's going to need to help him learn. Aiden is also dyslexic. He cannot, and he won't tell anybody. Aiden won't tell anybody that he's dyslexic. He won't reach for help, so he's going to need help if he's going to try to graduate high school. Edek also has problems with reading. So she wasn't getting services yet through Happy, but she was getting extra help. But Dang actually has our meetings and was getting service. His learning disabilities. Aiden is allergic to mushrooms. Just please tell the people that he's with that he's allergic to mushrooms. And that's I thank y'all for taking care of my kids.
Okay.
I want to communicate with them. I feel like if I could communicate with them, it would be a lot easier on them.
Okay, I'm fine with weekly letters. Let's just make sure they go through the permanency specialist or even Ms. Walker, just making sure those letters are appropriate and nothing inappropriate is being said. I'm fine with that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, we're experiencing extreme difficulty with the facility she is at. They aren't accepting pleadings from me and order setting hearings from me. They're requiring them to be sent by Jamie. And like she said, the mail's 3 months behind. I know Lisa's been having trouble as well. So you might see some orders or drafted orders that I might be trying to create to force this facility to let me have more contact with the client. We spent probably a good 8 hours on this with my paralegal trying to jump through different hoops, and it's been very difficult. There is a literacy program where Miss Moore can video herself reading, and also I think it's something they allow them to help kids with the homework. She's going to sign up for that to hopefully have some more contact with the kids, and hopefully we can get this letter issue figured out, because right now she's not even receiving my mail because it's so far behind. We want to give the name of Erica Gross for a home study. She is in Happy, Texas, and when Miss Moore found out she was going to, be incarcerated, this is initially where the kids were at, but this was before there was a CPS case, and Miss Gross said she didn't have quite enough funds, to keep all the kids, but now that there's a case open, I'm wondering if there might be some funding opportunity or something like that to help Miss Gross. She was evidently a very good long-term placement for the kids, has a big enough house for the kids, had bunk beds for the kids. She works at the school in Happy, Texas. So that is who we would like to ask a home study for.
Okay, and we'll get to all of that in just a minute. Casa, concerns with the younger 3 kids?
The younger 3 kids are doing good in their current placement. I'm glad that they're in therapy, because last time I talked to them or went and saw them, they weren't in therapy and felt they could use therapy. So I'm glad they're in therapy. Jealousy did mention to me that she does want contact with mom. So I didn't know how that would work. I said maybe letters to her. So, but they're doing good. I have no concerns where they're at. I do question what's going to happen after their 60 days comes up.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in just a second.
All right, perfect. That's all I have. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, tell me about Aiden. Aiden is in an RTC in Houston.
Yes, he is in Houston. He is doing very, very well there. I spoke with placement this morning and was going to send them the Zoom invite, but they had another appointment, so they couldn't attend. But they did want me to communicate that he is one of the best kids they have there. He's doing great in school. He's thinking about playing basketball, and I believe he is taking a college class. So he's doing great. I've talked to him several times. He's happy, likes his school, and he's doing well. He's a mentor to some of the younger kids there. So he's doing great, and they have nothing but good things to say about him. He is attending counseling, substance abuse counseling as well. So he is getting help there as well. He did go to the eye doctor, and I believe prescription glasses have been prescribed. They did not have any medical concerns. I will let them know about the mushrooms, though. I don't know if they know that or not, and also about the dyslexia, because they have not said that to me. So I will for sure let them know about that for him. But they have nothing but good things to say about Aiden, and Aiden says he's extremely happy there as well.
Okay. Ms. Minter, any concerns with Aiden?
No concerns with Aiden. He does seem to be doing really well right now.
Casa?
Concerns with Aiden, nothing but good things they report to us as well about him. So he's doing good.
Okay. And Ms. Moore, you talked to us a little bit about Aiden. Any additional concerns regarding Aiden?
No, ma'am. I just want somebody to tell him that it's okay, that that I felt like he might feel like it was his fault that all this happened. But this was just God's plan, and this is what needed to happen. I just want somebody to tell him that.
Okay. Mr. Shaw, any concerns on behalf of the fathers regarding any of the children?
Judge, I only have an appointment on the Agia case. I don't see one on the Moore, so I don't know if I just didn't receive it or if I overlooked it. But I have not had contact with the fathers.
Moore, I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
Mr. Moore is in prison until 27 is what my notes show.
Yes, and he is, I believe, running from the police. And he is somewhere in North Dakota.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay, let's talk about the placement. Obviously, a 60-day shelter deadline probably coming up quickly. It sounds like we need to do an expedited home study on Erica Gross, and I will order a 10-day home study on her.
Excuse me, but it's actually a 90-day shelter. And I spoke with Miss Gross regarding placement. She stated that she did not want to be considered as placement due to the behavior of the children from the time they were placed with her before. So she asked that her name be taken off the potential placement.
Okay. Any backup options, Ms. Walker, as far as placement?
None that me and my client have discussed at this time.
Okay.
Can I say something?
Ms. Hooper, let's get something in writing from Ms. Gross so that we can file that and just make sure everybody's aware that we have a signed writing that says that she's declining placement.
Okay. I also received two letters from Erica, and she had placed a name of Charles Yarbrough in one of the letters. He is
Yeah, but I don't.
Do what?
I want them to stay in y'all's care.
Oh, okay.
Because I have with Erica.
Okay. I haven't been able to get a hold of him anyways. I have tried, but I have not been able to contact him.
I just would prefer. I'm out with the old and in with this new. Because I would prefer if y'all can take care of my kids until I get out. Because I want something fresh, and like I said, I'm going into a 1-year sober program when I get out, and I'm gonna go where my kids could go with me somewhere away from Tulia.
Okay, what is the St. Francis plan for placement regarding the younger 3 children when the shelter deadline comes?
I got an update from Miss Bacchus just a day or two ago regarding them. They feel pretty confident that they will be able to place all 4 children in their homes on their campus. They are waiting closer to the 90-day to make sure of that. Now, I have talked to Aiden regarding that. His words to me were, "Do I have to go?" Because he's so happy where he is. So, but they feel confident. They're not 100% sure yet because they have to look at staffing for the different homes there on their campus. And but they feel confident at this point they'll be able to place them in their homes there on their campus closer to the end of the 90-day period.
Okay. Well, certainly if the 3 younger kids get an opportunity to stay where they are, that would be great. Aiden's 17. If he wants to stay where he is and he's doing well, I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
And Judge, I just wanted to add that when Lisa talks to Miss Gross, if she, for whatever reason, says that she is willing to do this, I'll get a 10-day expedited order to you to sign.
Okay, very good.
Can I add one more information on a placement?
Sure.
And when I spoke with Jealousy, she stated that she had a friend's mother in Happy. I think her name was Mary Johnson or Johnston, that she wanted to be considered for placement. I did talk with her also, and she has recently moved in with her mother. And so she was going to discuss with her mother and get back with me, but she has not gotten back with me. So we have looked at that consideration as well.
Okay. Anything else regarding the children or placement?
No.
All right, let's talk about plans of service. What are we asking Ms. Moore to do in this case as far as a plan of service? I'm assuming we're asking her to do all of the programs that are available to her in the facility where she is, and what else?
Yes, ma'am. And also, and I've written Erica letters. I don't know when she'll get them, but any class that's available that's in her facility, that she take it, and also keep track of any certification of completion. I'll definitely need that as well. To refrain from criminal activity. This is all once she's released from incarceration. Have a legal source of income, appropriate residence, parenting classes, supervised visits with her children, monthly contacts with her permanency specialist, participate in a psych eval, participate in family and therapy, individual and family therapy if recommended, maintain a drug-free lifestyle, and if a drug test shows up positive, that she be referred to a drug and alcohol screening and assessment.
Ms. Minter? I'm sorry, Ms. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor. And she has a long date and a short date of projected release. She could be out as soon as June of 2024. The long date is September of 2024. But yes, she is active in the facility, taking classes. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens if she's released sooner rather than later.
Okay, I will approve the plan of service for Ms. Moore. And what about Mr. Moore's plan of service?
Mr. Moore is similar. Once he is released, well, he's also asked to participate in any classes at the facility that he is located at. He will refrain from criminal activity, have a legal source of income, appropriate residence, participate in parenting, supervised visits, monthly contact permanency specialist, a psychological evaluation, individual and family therapy, drug-free lifestyle, and if a drug test comes back positive, then he'd be referred to a drug and alcohol screening and assessment.
Mr. Shaw?
Judge, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, I will approve the plan for Mr. Shaw, and same thing for Mr. Angui?
Correct. Same thing for Mr. Angui.
Okay, I will approve the plan of service for Mr. Angui as well. Okay, I'm going to set this for an initial permanency hearing March the 22nd at 9 a.m.
Miss Moore, are you trying to say something?
Yes, ma'am. I I know that mine and Ricky Moore's sons are 18 and 17, but I've got to say this. He threw my baby against the wall at 6 weeks old. He does not deserve rights to my children.
That's something we will discuss, Miss Moore.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Oh, well, thank you. And Alicia, I'll be sending you letters for Aiden and for the girls.
Okay.
And
We'll work on communication. Thank you.
yes, thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Certainly, Ms. Walker, if you want to come up with some creative orders, I love creative orders. I'm happy to help you with that. Let's do it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, March the 22nd at 9. Good luck to you, Miss Moore.
Yes, thank you. That's my birthday. Okay.
We'll be adjourned.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You can get off, Miss Moore. Thank you.